I'm very happy to be here tonight for my dad's 8th and final State of the City address. It's much better than watching it over the internet. But before I bring on a man who has been described as distinctly short of the easygoing charisma most successful politicians seem to be born with, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my dad that you won't find in his official biography. First, I have to get my shots in. My dad is a simple man with simple tastes. You would think spending 40 years in the Bay Area would refine him even a little bit, but you'd be wrong. Despite living near wine country, he'll still take a glass of bottom shelf white Zinfandel over pretty much any other wine, unless you happen to have some Boone's Farm that he can pour over vanilla ice cream. His go-to meal when my mom isn't home is Kentucky Fried Chicken, a couple handfuls of cashews, and a frightening amount of chocolate. His simple tastes apply to technology, too. He's the mayor of San Jose, the capital of Silicon Valley. He represents some of the best technological minds in the world and some of the biggest high-tech firms in the country. And yet, he still uses the You've Got Mail AOL program for his personal mail. Most people stopped using that a decade ago. But behind those simple tastes is a man of deep loyalty and devotion. He has no real hobbies. All he wants to do is spend time with his family. My mom, my sister, and I have always come first for my dad. He's incredibly generous with his time, and there is no person on earth more patient than him. When I was in school, he'd spend all the time I needed to help me with my homework, even though he'd just worked a long day. For example, when I put off studying for a chemistry test in high school, he spent hours helping me memorize negative ions, giving me the confidence I needed to get through that test. When I wanted to practice baseball, he built a makeshift backstop in our backyard. He spent days pitching to my friends and me, giving us pointers and encouraging us. Then we'd go climb over the fence together to collect any balls I managed to hit well. I never had to worry that he would be busy. He'd drop everything to come out and pitch. This past summer, I caught a pretty nasty bug that forced me to miss 4 weeks of work. When it became clear that I was sicker than I thought, he bought the next plane ticket out to D.C. and stayed with me for a week and a half. He did everything he possibly could to make me comfortable. He cooked me meals and brought me my medicine while still finding time to rearrange my kitchen to make it more efficient. For the first few nights, I slept on the couch. Because he wanted to be close by to watch me in case anything happened, he slept on my love seat, which is about 2 feet too short for him to lie down, but he didn't care. During the day, we talked about work, vacation, and random articles that we had read. When we got tired of watching baseball on TV, we'd switch over to such fine programs as Here Comes Honey Boo Boo and Hot Dog Paradise. When I was finally feeling better, he helped me get my energy back with walks through my neighborhood. And through all that, he still took work calls from my kitchen when I needed a break to rest. But his focus was always on helping me any way he could. That illness ended up being a blessing in disguise because I had so much fun spending time with my dad. Finally, I can't properly introduce my dad without mentioning my mom, Paula. She provides him the love, courage, and inspiration he needs to do his job. My mom is the hardest working member of our family, working ridiculous hours as the director of several clinics for patients with cancer. And though she should really consider retiring, she's dedicated to helping people through some of the toughest moments of their lives. Despite such heavy work, she's always there for my dad, my sister, and me. I couldn't have asked for better parents, both of whom have set examples for my sister and I that help guide us through our lives. I'm so proud to be here tonight to introduce my dad and to say thanks to both of them. Hopefully all the times I was a giant pain growing up, or at least partially forgiven. Now I'd like to bring on a special guest to help me finish this introduction, my sister, Lieutenant Colonel Kim Campbell.
Good evening. I'm honored and humbled to be able to introduce my dad tonight. I just wish that I could be there in person. My dad has always been my role model and my hero, and so I'm thankful to be part of his final State of the City address. My dad has stood by my side and supported me through so many challenges in my life. When I was in 5th grade, I decided that I wanted to attend the Air Force Academy. And at that point, I had never worn combat boots and could barely do a single pull-up. Well, once my dad figured out how committed I was to achieving my objective, he helped me to prepare. And so we ran the hills of San Jose together in our combat boots, and he even installed a pull-up bar in the bathroom. Well, by the time I got to the Air Force Academy and was a freshman there, I was able to max the physical fitness test, something that he had accomplished in his time there 25 years before. My dad has also taught me a tremendous amount about leadership. He taught me to set the example and do the right thing, even when it's hard. And he's shown me through his personal example how it's important to stay committed to your objective if it's the right thing to do, even if people tell you there are too many obstacles or that it's impossible to accomplish. My dad's leadership and guidance helped me achieve the position of Cadet Wing Commander at the Air Force Academy, in charge of all 4,000 cadets. That's a feat that my dad also accomplished while he was there, and we were the first father-daughter team to accomplish that. I'm proud to have followed in my dad's footsteps. And even now, in my time in the active duty military, my dad has been by my side through some incredibly difficult times and deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. Although I'm sure my dad quietly preferred that I had chosen a less dangerous job. One night, I had to make a phone call home to tell my parents that my jet had been hit by enemy fire and suffered extensive damage. I was hoping I wouldn't have to make that call. I guess I just didn't want my parents to know what I was doing until after I got home. But they were incredibly supportive and have been that way throughout my life. And even now, as Grandpa Chuck, my dad has been so supportive of my family, especially during a difficult time with my husband deployed to Afghanistan. My dad has spent a quality amount of time with my 2 young boys, and he has learned to be a good follower. You see, my 5-year-old is the creative director, designer, supervisor, and producer of a large treehouse project in our backyard. And my dad has been able to follow my 5-year-old's strict guidance and rules about what the treehouse should look like. So I'm very thankful that my dad has been there to spend time with my kids and to set the example for them. Thank you, Dad. And this introduction wouldn't be complete without also thanking my mom. My dad has shown me the importance of marrying and spending your life with your best friend. My mom and dad are both incredibly committed to the jobs that they do, but they are also committed to each other. And they are just as committed today as they were 44 years ago when they were married. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for always standing by my side and supporting me. And so tonight, more than anything, Dad, I just want to say how proud I am of you. I'm so proud of the work you've done in San Jose to make San Jose a better place. And I'm proud of you for your commitment to our family. You've done so much for us, and you've worked so hard. I'm so honored to be able to have sworn you in as the mayor of San Jose, and also to be able to introduce you tonight. Thank you for setting the example for me and for my boys. You will always be my role model and my hero.
But before I bring on my dad, there's someone else who wanted to say a few words.
Hey, Grandpa, thanks for having me build the treehouse.
Do you love it?
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Reed.